I appreciate it, Adam.
Yeah. Right. Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the entire world. My name's Adam Cheltenham, mental health advocate, and tonight, do you accept mental health, the acceptance? Now, I do. I've learned to accept it, and my brilliant guest, Mike Sizemore, has accepted it. Mike Sizemore is a mental health advocate from Mansfield, Ohio, USA. He specifically focuses on obsessive compulsive disorder, also known as OCD, and related disorders. Mike has lived with OCD for over 22 years and has a passion for supporting others alongside their mental health journey. He is passionate about connecting sufferers with professional resources, educating others on what OCD both is and is not, and inspiring change. He co-facilitates Facebook support groups, holds a weekly OCD peer support group on Zoom, and actively networks with many in the mental health community. And great. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Adam.
You're most welcome. Now, I want to start with a question I keep being asked. What does mental health mean to you?
That is a big question. Mental health to me, I guess the definition of mental health, of good mental health to me, would mean a well-functioning brain that doesn't interfere with your environment in a negative way. It would also mean to me that it allows you to pursue your goals and be a good influence on those around you.
Yeah.
And not provide any disruption in your life. Bad mental health to me means that, or interrupted mental health to me means that it's that there's some sort of dysfunction somewhere in your life that's got a brain basis to it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I'm just going to go on my profile now, and this is what I see mental health is for me. And I've learned this, is mental health is our mindset which controls the way we think, act, behave.
Yeah, I would agree.
Just as simple as that, but powerful words. And obviously, because you've lived with difficulties, I think we all have. I think the only way forward is if you hit rock bottom, that's okay, because the only way to go is up.
Couldn't agree more.
Exactly. And obviously, this is why I recommend inspiring videos, speeches from the likes of Jim Carrey, Dwayne Johnson, which I've actually learned from Dwayne Johnson on a particular few examples. One of them just being, if you get your back against the wall, what are you going to do about it? Because there's a storm in front of you, and I always teach people storms don't last forever. They do go away, and all you need to do is learn to put that step in front of you, and there you go, you're on your way.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you're in those moments where it feels really, really stormy, I know from my experience anyways that I there were many times when I couldn't see outside of the storm.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, there just was no, I mean, you were so tunnel visioned on what you were focused on and the issues you were dealing with. And you just have to trust, you have to have faith that what people are telling you, it's true, and the willingness to apply yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, obviously, like I say in all my videos, I've got no script. Every question I ask comes from my head and my heart. And this is what makes me a brilliant spot. This ain't all about promotion. This is all about getting people on like yourself. And I've got people from Canada, Australia, UK, a lot, and helping me find a way in stopping this stigma and discrimination of mental health. And it's such a privilege to have you on tonight. I know the time difference is absolutely atrocious. It's like,
there is worse. 5 hours isn't that bad.
Yeah. I've had people who's like 9 hours in front of me in Australia, so that's fine. time's worth it.
Yeah.
And if people keep saying, I haven't got time because I'm doing this and that and this and that, that's just excuses. You've got time for everything.
Yeah, that's one thing I learned too. It's one thing I learned too in life is that when it's a priority, you make time. You make time for all your other priorities.
Yeah, because I've always learned it doesn't matter what professional you see, what book you buy and read, or what advice you get on social groups. The best person who knows the mental health is themselves.
Yeah, you know your experience, and you may find others that have a similar experience to you, but you have a unique experience.
Yeah, this is why I've actually got the ink on me, which clearly states my story isn't over yet, because it isn't. In fact, mine is actually just getting started, and that's what makes life beautiful. And it's such inspiring. I was just saying on the live video before you came on, somebody was just experiencing a few mental health difficulties. And I've always taught, and I just taught him, which a quote I teach everybody is, always remember, you're braver than you believe, stronger than you think, love more than you know, and more beautiful than you imagine.
It's
always
true.
In that. So this comes up to my next question is, because I know nothing about it, what is OCD and how does it affect somebody?
So OCD stands for obsessive compulsive disorder. It can affect someone in a huge variety of different ways, but it always affects them, from my understanding, and I'm not a clinician or anything like that, but it affects them where they've got distressing thoughts. Those are the obsessive part. Now these can be, and most of the time they come as questions. Did I? What if? What if? Did I really? How do I know? And fill in the blank, fill in the rest. That's going to, and then the OCD is driven by fear. So when you see someone that's scared of germs or whatever like that, they're really, it's a fear. It's an intense fear. The second part of it is compulsions, which are either mental or physical acts that the person will do, and they can be very, very subtle, where the person relieves that distress from what they're thinking.
Yeah.
As far as how it can affect somebody's life, again, there's wide variety of ways. It can be as simple as a little bit of a nuisance, a little bit of something that the person's just feels like they have to do, and they're not complete until they do it, and then it can get so debilitating where someone doesn't get out of bed, doesn't leave the house.
Yeah, because obviously there's all different types of OCD. Like I know somebody who has got OCD, and they are literally obsessed with cleaning. Like the tins, they have to have the name at the front. I do that as well. Like I've had for years where, for example, the tea, coffee, sugar, there has to be tea, then sugar, then coffee, then the kettle. That's my order. But when people mix it up, like for example, tea, sugar, coffee, and then the kettle at the start, that winds me up.
Mm-hmm.
It does distress me. Like I don't say I've got OCD, but that's who I am, and that's how I've always seen that order. But when it comes to OCD, it's very difficult to explain. Just like mental health, because the majority of the time when people are asking what's going on, talk to me, you can't. It's frustrating because you can't get those words out. You want to, but words can't explain how you feel.
No, and that is too is OCD. It's a lot of. I've read before, and I really believe it's true. It's not a thought disorder; it's a feeling disorder.
Yeah.
because there are a lot of really, really intense feelings associated with it. That's why people, when they get those feelings, that's why they feel like they have to act in a way to make them go away.
Yeah.
And that does make them go away, but over time has a tendency to make them much, much worse.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's like, because believe it or not, only March last year, that's when I attempted suicide. And how far I've come, has it been easy? No. Have I been down? Yes. It's been a roller coaster, and a massive uphill roller coaster, but I'm just living proof. You're just living proof that even though we can overcome suicidal thoughts, attempting suicide, there is belief out there, there is hope out there. And if we can do it, someone else can.
Absolutely, and that's why the recovery journey is such an inspiration. And I'm so glad to hear, Adam, that you are still here to talk about it. I mean, really, I know how it just completely isolating and discouraging it can be.
Yeah.
But I just want you to know that, I mean, just so happy to hear that your story definitely has had an improvement, and because it is. I mean, like when you mentioned it earlier about hitting rock bottom, I mean, that's where I had to go, and that's where it sounded like you had to go.
Yeah.
And when you get there, it's all about, I have to take care of myself. My loved ones
Absolutely.
need me. My friends need me. What do I want my life to be?
Yes. Yeah, because the amount of people I've helped during this pandemic since March has been absolutely amazing. There's too many of them. And I still remember like it was just yesterday. I was just in self-care mode, trying to take care of my own mental health. I wasn't 100%, but I wasn't down. And I chose to actually ignore myself. Yes, probably some people will call me selfish for that, but I've always taught myself other people come first over myself. And maybe that's my mistake, but it's my mistake to learn from. But I spoke with a couple of people, a mother and her daughter, because they were on the top of a cliff and they wanted to commit suicide. They wanted to jump. So I was speaking to them for about an hour and a half, and I'm glad they are here today.
That's great.
Because I chose to talk to them over self-care and for myself.
And I think, like with self-care, unlike you, Adam, I mean, I've always been like, where, other people come first. I mean, I was raised that way. I believe that way. But at the same time, I mean, I think you can achieve both. You can take care of others and yourself. You have to forget not to only take care of yourself and not take care of others, and not to only take care of others and not take care of yourself. You have to have that coexisting.
Yeah, that's why I have learned that, and the quick statement to myself is, it doesn't matter who you're helping in the entire world, work always starts at home. And like I was just saying previously, it doesn't matter what professional you see, what textbook you read. The good information out there, online, good, courses, good. But you know your mental health the most. And my advice to everybody who will be tuning into this on YouTube or Facebook, wherever, is whoever holds on to the stigma and will never understand it, if they don't want to understand it, get rid of them of your life. Get rid. I've learned to do that. And yeah, and now I'm happy. I can clearly stand here and say, I love my life.
That's great. I love mine too, and I never thought it would be this way, because after living with it for so long, I mean, I didn't know. I mean, I got diagnosed when I was 13, and I'm 36 now, and and I didn't know any other life. I mean, I'd forgotten any other life.
Yeah, I got diagnosed with mental health, and believe it or not, it was actually 4 years old.
Wow.
And because obviously I was suffered with traumatic abuse growing up. And yes, it's affected me. And just last year, July last year it was, I was just sat on the settee watching telly, playing on my phone, and I was thinking to myself, I've got 2 kids here. I've got another child out there. What the hell am I doing with my life? So this is where I thought, sack this. I need to do something in my life. So this is why I've got into the mental health. I became a mental health first aider, and I started going down the mental health route. And now my 8-year-old son, he has picked up on what I am doing, and now he wants to learn about mental health.
That's so great. It really is. I mean, and I think it's so encouraging to see high profile people come out and say, hey, everybody looks up to me, and even I've got this. And you have some connection with autism, is that right, Adam?
I do. Yeah, I've got Asperger's myself, and my son's got autism.
Okay. Yeah, the only reason I mentioned that is because there have been studied links between autism and OCD.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've got Asperger, which is also autism. But another thing which I've actually just recently come across is I was actually born with something called dyspraxia, and that is actually a connection towards autism as well.
Oh wow! Wow. Well, yeah, I'm ashamed to say I don't know nearly enough about autism. But it's definitely I mean, it's all we call them so many different things, so many different disorders. Schizophrenia, bipolar, borderline personality, depression, panic disorder. But it's all fits under the same umbrella.
Absolutely. And this is what comes. What comes to my next question is, what do you think? No, what do you think the government should do to raise more awareness for mental health? Because they're always pumping money into the mental health system, but I'm seeing no change.
I mean, just an impromptu answer, I would say we're going to, give you this much for services, and I would say too, also with insurance companies, is there needs to be more opportunity for coverage, which I think is growing.
Yeah.
And I mean, over in the UK, I know you guys have the National Health, but
yeah, we've got National Health, and the waiting time to actually see a counsellor or a therapist is between 3 and 6 months.
See, yeah, that's a big deficit right there.
Yeah.
I mean, because when you have someone that's but as far as government involvement, I mean, I think that they should allocate money to mental health departments and say, this is how much you're getting. Wait until we see how many clients are coming in for services, and then we'll continue to address that need.
Yeah, because I know just November last year, and I know you've got dollars over there, but we've got pounds over here. Mm-hmm. And just November last year, and I know they're going to be doing it again soon, the government's actually given the mental health department £50 million to the mental health services. And
so that's like 100 million here.
Yeah.
Wow,
and
yeah.
I've seen very little. I know the short staff because of all these cuts and all that. And after all this pandemic's gone away, the queues are going to be massive. And I can clearly say live right now, my name will be on that list. It will be on that list. When I get seen, I don't know. But this is why people keep telling me, Adam, you need to get into politics, become a councillor of your area, change mental health. And I have actually considered it. I have, but it's all money. And I don't like money.
No, and it's a thing too, like with and I heard this and I believe it, that as far as insurance costs and things like that go, is that the reimbursement is higher for, you know, cardiac care, orthopedic surgery, things like that. I mean, I don't know, but I think part of maybe the stigma breaking is to understand that, you know,
Yeah.
is I think part of it, to one thing to really get across, is that someone with adequate and effective mental health care can be just as life changing as somebody who has a broken bone repaired or a pacemaker put in or anything like that. Also, really can. I mean, it's all about the kind of change.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is what we need. We need change. We need to cut the 3 months down to at least, this is what I was going to do if I became councillor or even MP. I was going to cut the 3 months down to at least about a month, maybe 1.5 months. But in the meantime, while they're waiting for that support, have a little bit of support in the background where, like, somebody rings them once a week or twice a week, just checking in on them. That's what I was going to do. But who knows? Who knows?
Well, and a little bit of compassion and caring goes a long way, because it's, I mean, one thing I've learned too in my history, in my experience, and I'm sure you've learned it, is that you may not think you do, but you do have an impact on people.
Yes. Yeah.
It
I
may
even have an impact on myself sometimes.
well, that's one of the best kinds, is if you can influence yourself in a positive way. I mean, that's really good. But I think some of us, we go through life so many times thinking, you know, I'm not influencing anybody. You know, my what I say doesn't matter, doesn't register with the other person, but I think it does, and it does with me anyway when people say things to me. But so I just wanted to say, just, I mean, as far as support and advocacy goes, you do influence people.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very honoured and humbled you actually said that, because you do the same. And yeah, I've got another charity that's actually interested in wanting to talk to me. We've got a bigger, so I think you've heard of them, Mind, the Mind charity. They're
Okay.
actually, they want to talk to me, which I'll be happy to. I'll be happy to link up with any mental health charity. And this is why I do what I do. Just to inspire people and to advise them, keep going. Keep going, because anything is possible if you believe in yourself.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, and the importance of support, and just knowing that there are people out there that have done it and continue to do it. And even though, I mean, every day is different, and you're going to have good days and bad days, and good parts of the days and bad parts of the days. It's all about, you know, keeping your eyes just a little bit ahead of where you are.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know, I'm actually glad you mentioned that, because I think we've all been taught, I think we are running out of time, but I'll make this quick. We always got taught, always fall back on something. Leave something for your future generation to fall back on something. I've learned, never do that, because your target is in front of you. And if you're falling back behind, all you're going to see is a negative in the past. Fall forward. If you fall into a barrier, find a way of overcoming that barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Find a way. You've got the support.
And I think it's good to have a plan in place in case what you're doing doesn't work out for whatever reason. Just wasn't.
Absolutely.
But don't dwell back there.
No.
You know, I mean, it's back there if you need it, but don't dwell back there.
No.
No, you're aiming at something else.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So obviously, what's the final piece of advice you'll actually give somebody who is just reaching out for the very first time for help?
The final thing I would like to say is, well, a couple of different things. Not too long, but number one is you might feel shamed, but there is no shame in it. Society might want you to feel, you might have learned to be ashamed because it's something you can't actually look at and see with your eyes. Secondly, trust the process.
Yeah.
Trust the therapeutic process, because trust is a big part of doing it. Thirdly, make sure that you have access to use all your resources, videos, books, support groups, therapists, family members, understanding friends. Understand that not everybody is understand that not everyone is going to want to understand. It's hard enough to get someone to understand in the first place, because you can't, like Adam said, you can't quite put your finger on it yourself. Yeah. But understand that some people just won't want to understand, and that's okay too.
Exactly.
And keep your future in front of you. Aim at something. Do something you enjoy, something that helps other people.
Yeah. You know what? For the privilege of having you on, Mike, it really has. And I hope you're not strange. I hope you come back again.
Thank you, Adam. You're doing a wonderful thing, Adam, and you're reaching more than you know. And the more positive content like this that comes out, I mean, I think the more people will want to get the care that they need and understand that it's okay.
You're awesome. You're awesome. And on that note, adios.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Adam.
Bye.